All right, we have actually started the recording. So, guys, hopefully all of you have attended that particular demo session on Saturday. If you have not attended, please go through the please go through the recording that is available on the YouTube. That should be available as a public video. If you can actually open the YouTube and if you can search for MGM IT Training, then you would actually be able to find the Pavan's MGM IT Training institute, and you would actually be able to subscribe for that. Okay, so in that you would actually be able to find a lot of public videos. You can actually subscribe for this IT training, and you also would actually be able to say, apart from the LoadRunner and JMeter, we are also providing some more free videos like MongoDB, introduction to Dynatrace. There are several free videos that have been provided in that, and you would actually be able to look at all those particular videos. Okay, so you can actually try and look through the videos to understand how the sessions will go. All right, so now guys, this particular batch, as I said, this is going to be for the specifically for the LoadRunner. But even before we go into the LoadRunner, what we would do is we would actually try to go through the performance testing basics. And even before we go into the performance testing basics, there would be some very, very basic concepts that we would actually try to cover. All right, so what are those particular basic concepts and how we would actually go through that? We will actually try to take a look at this today. Okay, so all right, let me actually start sharing. Okay. So this is the kind of basics that we are going to start now. All right, so we are also keeping in mind the non-computer science background, guys, and we will actually start with absolute basics, like what exactly is a computer. From that point we'll start. It does not mean that we will start explaining about everything, but whatever is needed for this particular course, for the performance testing course, we'll actually try to cover. Okay. Yes, guys. So guys, I would encourage all of you to actually, put your videos on, so that I would actually be able to see who all are joining and how things are going. Okay. If multiple people are joining from one single ID, that is also fine. Not a big deal. Okay. So please put your videos on so that I can actually see your faces. Okay. Thank you, guys.
And guys, Pavan here. Morning, everyone. Morning, everyone. First of all, sorry for the delay. Due to some miscommunication, we had this issue. As Shyam told, so we are giving some exemptions. Suppose if you are if you are married and your spouse can join, okay, along with you, we don't have any issues with that, right? And if you're if your siblings can join from the same login, but it should be from the same login, guys. Okay, so we don't have any issues with that as well. But turn on the camera and please don't play hide and seek game. You got it? So, and if you are if someone or anyone is playing hide and seek game, you will not be focusing on the session, or you will not be focused on learning, right? So please plan to switch on your camera from tomorrow onwards, your video from tomorrow onwards. And this would be most probably our last online batch. So we had decided to run only offline training going forward. Okay, so this will be mostly like the last online batch. Okay, that's all from my side.
Yeah, thanks, Pavan. Right. So guys, this would be a very interactive session. The reason why we are one other reason why we are actually asking you to put your cameras on, if it is offline session, if you are sitting right before me in the classroom, then I would actually be able to see your faces and I would actually be able to understand whether somebody is getting whatever I'm telling you or not, right? And if somebody is not able to understand, then I would slow down. I would actually try to explain a little bit more. But if you are actually trying to, sit online and, you don't put your cameras on, I would never know whether you understood or not. Most of the times I would actually see your face and I would understand, okay, this guy understood, this guy did not understand. All right. So please put your cameras on. If you are not ready today, I know some people might not really be ready today. But from tomorrow on, please plan to put your cameras on. Okay. If you are planning to continue on the online batch. Okay. So I'll actually be going through like this, and sometimes I'll actually take a look at how people are actually trying to understand. All right. Clear about this, guys? Yes, guys.
Yes, sir.
All right. Very good. So let's actually go ahead and understand a few basic concepts. Okay. So today we'll not, go into too much. We'll just touch base upon the very high level, and we'll also have some introductory sessions, and then we'll close the batch. We'll close the session today. But going forward, today I'm really sorry for the confusion. I actually, did not log in properly into the proper ID. And in fact, it was not my mistake. It was not Pavan's mistake. He communicated to me last night itself, but I completely forgot. There were too many things going on, and I completely forgot. So I would from tomorrow on, maximum by 9:05, we will start the session. Okay. Give me 5 minutes buffer time, but usually I'll start by 9, but at the most 9:05 we'll start the session. Okay. Is that clear, guys? And these introductory sessions, when we are actually talking about, the basics, the theoretical part, we might actually, complete it by 10 o'clock sharp. But after that, once we get into the loader, once we get into the scripting, at that time, the session would get extended a little bit. Okay. So be ready for that as well. All right. And guys, one more very, very important thing, even before I start the session. Even, on Saturday itself, I have already told you, but today as well, I'm trying to repeat this. You have to spend at least 2 hours of time after the session. You have to spend at least 2 hours of time on practicing the concepts, whatever that has been told in the session. Okay. Otherwise, at the end of the course, even if you tell that Shyam did not tell properly, Pavan did not tell properly, nobody can help it. You practice. The next day you come, you ask questions. Even before I start the session, I would spend 5 or 10 minutes in clearing your questions. Okay. And if there are too many doubts, on the prior session, then I would actually, spend more time in order to clear all the doubts. There were some sessions that have completely converted into doubts clarification, because people might not have, people have practiced and they've got too many questions in the next session. Okay. So that also could happen. All right. So what I'm trying to say is, ensure that you practice, ensure that you get your questions clarified. Okay. There is no small question, no big question. All right. It is a question is a question. All right. Clear about it, guys? Yes, guys. All right. So let's actually continue. Now, guys, today we'll actually talk about very, very light topic. Know your computer. How many of you are non-computer science background, guys? Non-computer science background in the sense, in BTech you have done some mechanical, civil. Yes, guys. Or you've done some BSc without computer science. Everybody is computer science? Nitin, Rohini, Aishwarya, Prasanna, Shiva.
Yes, sir.
I did in computer engineering.
Rathi, Sai Kumar.
Guys, please respond and please be interactive.
You have to respond, guys. Okay, you have to unmute yourself and you have to respond. Otherwise, it would be very difficult, especially in the online session. It would be very difficult. And guys, I would point out to you. Sometimes I would actually ask you pointedly, like, Sai Kumar, can you please respond? And if he does not respond, and if that repeats once or twice, then I would remove him from the class. He has to join again and he has to respond. Unless he responds, I will not let him be in the class. Is that clear? Sai Kumar, can you please respond?
No, I was facing some issue. I'm rejoining it. That's the problem.
Oh,
So I was trying to reconnect again.
Even if someone is having issues with mic, respond in the Zoom chat. So can you please check how to post a message in the Zoom chat? That is temporarily again. Okay, don't always use Zoom chat. But if you are having some audio issues, then only use Zoom chat, please.
all right. Let's actually continue. Now, what is a computer? What are the main components of computer? Yes, guys?
It's a hard disk, motherboard, and the screen, operating system,
Very good. Go on.
and like mouse, keyboard.
Right. When mainly the computer can be actually categorized into 4 main components. What are the 4 components? The CPU, motherboard, memory, and hard disk. Okay. The other components, whatever that you have told, yes, they are part of the computer, like your monitor, your keyboard, your mouse. All these are part of your computer. But then those are used in order for you to interact with the computer. All right. Those are used in order to interact with the computer, not exactly the part of the computer. Okay. So what are the main components of this particular computer? CPU, motherboard, RAM, and hard disk, isn't it? So what does this actually do? What is a computer basically? What do you mean by a computer?
It is an electronic device which accepts data, stores, processes, retrieves, and produces resultant output.
Great definition. All right. So it's an electronic device which would accept data, process data, analyze data, and which would actually be able to provide an output, provide a desired output according to the user's commands. Right. Now, in order to do all this, the computer would need the processing unit. The very important thing is the processing unit. All right. So it actually has this particular processing unit, which is called as CPU, and it also has the ROM, hard disk. ROM is hard disk, primary memory. Okay. And then you also have RAM. What is RAM?
Temporary memory.
Random access memory.
Yeah.
Okay. So you actually have these components very important. All right. Now, guys, even if you have all these 3 different components, would you actually be able to run the computer? Yes, guys?
No, we cannot run because we need some external device like a keyboard, mouse, and operating system is a must to run the.
Exactly. We especially need the operating system. Let's say you actually have a human body. Okay, you have a heart, you have a brain, you have a lungs, everything is there. If you put everything together, would it run? Yes, guys. Would the human body work even if you have all the components in it? Might not be, isn't it? You would need the heart and brain to work properly according to the human requirements, isn't it? Otherwise, it would not be able to function properly. Similarly, the computer would need the operating system to actually run properly in order for it to function properly. Okay? Is that clear, guys? So what is operating system?
An operating system is a system software which is used to control all the resources of a computer.
Very nice. So Srivali, what is your educational background?
MCA, sir.
Which year passed out you are?
2015, sir.
And you are working in between?
In between, I'm working in degree colleges, sir.
as a lecturer?
Yes, sir.
We can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that is the operating system. Can you repeat that particular definition? You have given a very good definition.
Yeah. An operating system is a system software which is used to control and manage all the resources of a computer.
Which is used to control and manage all the
All the
resources of the computer, right? So this is the operating system. All right. So now we need this particular operating system to be installed and to be running properly in order to ensure that you would actually be able to run your computer properly. Now, guys, forget about your servers, forget about your performance testing, forget about everything else. You need to understand the basics of computer before we even get into the performance testing. Okay. Why is that? Why is that, guys? Let's say most of you are computer science background guys, right? So let's say your computer is responding very slowly. Then what would you do? Yes, guys?
We can delete temporary file which is available in temp, right? So we can delete and we can.
Yeah, we might delete temporary files. The first thing that most of us would do is we would go into the task manager. We would actually go into the task manager. We would actually go into the performance, and we would try to see if the CPU utilization or the memory utilization is too high, too low, or whatever, right? And or if the network is not responding properly, we would actually try to take a look at the basic components, isn't it? In order to understand, what these are, in order to find out what exactly this particular, the performance of the computer, you would actually have to understand the basics of the computer. Okay, whether it is on your computer, whether it is on your laptop, or whether it is on a server machine. Okay, is that clear, guys? So that is the reason why we are actually trying to ensure that we understand this particular basics of the computer. Okay. Now, guys, I totally understand that most of you are computer science background guys, but just bear with me. Maybe if everybody is able to understand properly, then we can actually go through this a little bit faster. Okay, and we can actually run into advanced topics a little bit faster. But guys, if somebody is not able to understand, if somebody wants a repetition of something, please feel free to ask me. There is absolutely nothing wrong in asking. All right. The person who asks, that person is an idiot only for once. The person who does not ask, that person is idiot for a lifetime. Okay. Please remember that. If you don't ask, if you don't understand the concept, and if you just keep quiet, then what would happen? Nothing would happen to me. I would continue my course, but you would not understand that particular concept for your lifetime. Okay. Clear, guys? So please ask. If you cannot understand anything, do not hesitate to ask. There will, trust me, guys, if you cannot understand, there are a few more guys who did not understand and who are keeping quiet. Okay? Please remember that, guys. All right. Now, we know what this particular operating system is. Okay? Now, operating system is a software which would actually be able to control the different components and which would actually be able to help the CPU to analyze different metrics. Now, what are the different types of operating systems, guys?
Mac OS, Windows. After that,
Windows,
Single user, multi-user.
single user operating system, multi-user operating system. That is there, but let's stick to what are the different types of operating systems. Okay.
yeah, after that Linux.
Linux.
After that, like DOS.
Okay.
Mac OS.
Yeah, Mac OS is already listed. You guys are able to see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Windows.
sorry,
Ubuntu, Windows, sir.
Ubuntu. Windows is already listed. Okay. Ubuntu,
Red Hat Enterprise.
Red Hat Enterprise, Linux.
Linux.
The Linux is already mentioned, but I will just mention this. Red Hat Enterprise, Linux. Solaris.
SQL Server.
SQL Server is a different thing. We'll talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
these are, on a high level, there are a lot of other operating systems as well. But on a high level, these are the different types of operating systems that are available. Okay. These are the different types of operating systems that are available. Now, what is the most famous operating system that is out there?
Windows.
Windows, right? All of us, most of us would actually use Windows. After that,
Mac OS.
Mac OS. There are a lot of people who would also use Mac OS. However, guys, when you actually go into the servers world, you would actually be able to see that the
Linux 7.2. Yeah.
Linux is the most famous operating system. Most of your servers, that is your applications, would actually be deployed on the Unix operating system. Now, guys, your Linux, your Mac OS, your Solaris, your Ubuntu, a Red Hat Enterprise Linux, all these are flavors of
Unix.
operating system. Okay.
Multi-user operating system.
No, Unix operating system. Multi-user operating system will come to it. Okay. All these are different flavors of your Mac OS, Linux, Ubuntu, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and Solaris. All these are flavors of Unix operating system. Is that clear? Yes, guys. Okay. Now, the easiest way for us to understand different concepts is the Windows operating system. You would actually, we are all on Windows operating system, right? And you would actually be able to see that on your machine. You can actually go through this and you can actually understand a few things. But guys, the concept through which this particular, different operating systems run and how we measure the performance on different operating systems is the same. Okay, mostly we would actually be able to understand it like in the same fashion. There may be a few terminology differences, definitely yes, but then the concept is the same. Okay, so we'll first try to understand on the Windows operating system, and then we'll also shift on to the other operating systems. Is that clear, guys? Yes, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Only 2 people put their cameras on. Please put your cameras on, whoever it is possible. Okay. So this is about this particular operating systems. All right. So your operating systems would actually control all the different components and all your softwares. Any software that you are actually trying to install would actually be sitting on top of your operating system. Okay. You want to install Microsoft Word, you have to install on top of
Windows.
the operating system. Okay. You have to install Zoom meeting on top of operating system. You have to install anything, absolutely anything. You have to install on top of operating system, right? So any software that you are actually trying to install, the first question that the software vendor would ask is, what is the operating system that you are using? Isn't it? Yes, guys. What is the operating system that you are using? Based on that only, you would actually download the software. Yes, guys. Is that clear?
Yes.
We'll actually come back to this particular operating system, guys. But let's actually go ahead a little bit about system configuration. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the system configuration. What do you mean by system configuration?
Like system configuration is nothing but like the memory, like primary memory, like internal storage, how much, and like which version of our CPU, like it's a i5, i3, i7.
Right.
Like,
What is basically, if I have to break it down in a very, very simple words, what is the capacity of your system?
yes.
What is the capacity of your system? Guys, before I continue, can you tell me how many people are non-Telugu, guys?
I am actually.
Anybody else? Yes, guys. Anybody else is non-Telugu?
Me, sir.
Myself also, sir. Anita.
Oh. All right. Fine. Now, when we say the system configuration, what we are talking about? We are actually talking about the capacity. All right. So what do I mean? Let's say if I want to buy a car, what is the first thing that we would actually see? The engine capacity, isn't it? The engine capacity. Let's say I take this particular Maruti 800 engine, and if I put it in a in this big SUV, would it be able to run properly? No, it needs the enough capacity, isn't it? It needs enough capacity for the SUV to run. SUV is sports utility vehicle, isn't it? Now, for the SUV to run, it needs a much higher capacity, and 800cc engine would just not be sufficient. Okay, so we need to understand what is the system configuration of any of your machines. How do you know what is the system configuration of your machines, guys?
Right click on this PC,
Sorry, right click on
this PC, and go
Okay.
to properties.
Very good. Okay, so that's a good answer. You can go into right click on this PC and you can go into the properties. Okay, so you would actually be able to see the system configurations. All right, so what is this particular system configuration? You would actually be able to see that over here. For example, my system, this processor is i5. Okay, the processor is i5 and it is running at 2.6 gigahertz. 2.6 gigahertz. And what is the RAM that I have?
8
I
GB.
have 8 GB of RAM. Hello. And what else? I have, what is my operating system?
Windows 10.
Windows 10.
Windows 10. Okay. So these are some of the properties. All right. And now, guys, I would also be able to find some of the properties over here. Okay. So what is the RAM?
4 GB.
Yes, guys.
8 GB RAM.
8 GB RAM, 7.9 GB. I'm already using 3.8 GB and I have 4 more GB remaining approximately. Okay. And what is the disk? What is the disk capacity? You would not be able to find the disk capacity over here, guys. You would actually have to go into the My PC. All right. You would actually have to go into the My PC, and over here, you would actually be able to find the disk capacity. Over here, I have 900 GB and over here, I have 25 GB. So somewhere around 925 GB I have. Somewhere around 1 TB, 1 terabyte hard disk I have. Isn't it? Yes, guys. Okay. So like this, we would actually be able to find the some of the system configurations. Okay. We'll talk a little bit more about this particular system configuration in forward. But for now, this is the basic system configuration that we have. All right. Clear about this, guys? Any questions?
Till here, no questions, sir.
Pretty simple stuff that I'm talking about. So there should not be any questions. But if you have anything, please speak up. Okay. Clear about it, guys? Yeah.
Yes.
And this is my device name. All right. Now, let's say, guys, what is this particular device name?
Vanilla.
Yeah. Now, this device name, we also call it as a host name. Okay. We also call this as a host name. All right. And one more way of finding this particular device name is to actually go into the command prompt. What is this particular command prompt? Yes, guys? Yes, Rival.
It's a busy.
Yeah, go ahead. Nitin.
Yeah, it's a like a Vijay. Here it is. Yeah, okay. You want to see the host name, right?
Mhm. So over here, I would actually be able to give the commands. This command prompt is something where I would actually be able to give the commands. Okay, I can actually give the commands and I would actually be able to get the answers to the commands. Okay, I would actually be able to run a few programs through the command prompt. I would, a lot of different things I would actually do through the command prompt. Instead of doing it manually, instead of actually going into the properties and actually finding this particular device name over here, I can actually directly go into the command prompt and I can actually give a command host name. Okay. And it would actually give me the same answer. All right. Is that clear, guys? Yes, guys. Okay.
Yes,
So this is the host name. All right. Now, what is the use of this particular host name? What is the use of this particular host name? Now, guys, in very olden days, what we used to have is the computers which are standalone, which did not get connected to the network. Okay, but nowadays everybody has internet, not only computers. We also have internet on your mobile phones and a lot of devices as well. Your ACs, your washing machines, all those as well are connected to your network, isn't it? So when all these devices are getting connected to the network, it is very important for us to understand what is the address and what is the name of that particular device. Okay, what is the address and what is the name of that particular device? Okay, so the name of this particular device is Vanilla, right? But then, guys, can I restrict that only this particular device will be named Vanilla and nobody else? Yes, guys, can I do that?
No, we cannot do that. Sir.
We cannot do that. My name is Shyam. Can I say that? Okay, you know what? I have got rights on this name Shyam. Nobody else would name their kids Shyam. Can I do that?
no.
Not possible, isn't it? Anybody can name themselves as Shyam. No worries, isn't it? Yes, guys.
Yeah.
So, in order to ensure that we would actually be able to identify the system uniquely, in order to ensure that we would actually be able to identify the system uniquely, what we would do is we would actually try to assign the IP address.
Yeah, unit number.
Okay? We will assign the IP address for this particular machine. Okay, for each and every machine, we will actually assign an IP address. Is that clear, guys? Okay, so what is this particular IP address?
It's a unique number which, like every system has a unique IP number to connect with the different system or different device.
Different device in the network. In order for the system to be identified uniquely in the network, we will actually give the IP address. Okay, so how do I find the IP address of this machine?
Here we can write IP configuration.
I can give IP config. Okay, and I would actually be able to find the IP address of this machine. Okay, so guys, there are two versions of this particular IP address: IPv4 and IPv6.
Yeah.
So guys, what is the reason why we have this particular IPv4 and IPv6?
Actually, as per my understanding, like maybe the number is like how many number is like already ended for V4. That's what they introduce a IPv6. So in IPv6, we are having a 6-digit. This one.
So yeah, kind of. So you are actually seeing that the IPv4, the number of addresses that are available in IPv4 is very limited, isn't it? The number of addresses that that are available in the IPv4 is very limited. 1 second, this. Okay, so what would happen is when you have only a limited number of addresses in the IPv4, what would happen? Nowadays, when this particular IP is introduced, they have very limited number of devices that are getting connected to the network. I told you, right? I've got 18 years of experience, guys, so I'm pretty old. Okay, so when I started my career, when I was in my BTech, I didn't have any internet connection. I had a computer, but I didn't have internet connection. Okay, a lot of my friends had computers, but they didn't have internet connections. Okay, Somebody who has internet connection is actually considered rich. We used to hang out around that guy's house a lot, isn't it? Because we needed that particular internet connection in order to check emails and everything. We used to hang out around that particular guy's house a lot. Okay, and that guy is like, he has a lot of power. Okay, so those were fun days. But these days, even my daughter, who is like 4 years old, she also has an internet connection and a device. Right. So you would actually have the generation completely changed. Okay, the internet has come up very easily, and there are so many devices that are getting connected to the internet these days that the number of addresses that are available in the IPv4 are just not sufficient. Okay, so they have actually come up with the concept of IPv6, wherein you actually have more number of addresses, and you would actually not be running out of these addresses very shortly. Okay, so guys, you would actually be able to see that this is my IPv4 address. Okay, and this is my IPv6 address. Okay, clear, guys? Yes, guys. Okay, and again, guys, whatever the IPv4 address that you are seeing, this is my local address. This is my local address. That is, I'm in the WAN, wireless area network. Okay, I'm in the wireless area network. So this is my local address. But then, guys, what is my actual IP address? When I actually get connected to the internet, what is my IP address? So in order to see that, you would actually be able to see the over here. So just Google. Can all of you do this, guys? What is my IP? Okay, so what is my IP address.com? Or just open a browser, Google it, and put what is my IP address.com. In your command prompt also, open your command prompt and type in ipconfig. You would actually have two completely different IP addresses. This is my IP address that is in my wireless area network. And this is the IP address that I'm showing to the external world. Isn't it? Yes, guys. Why is that? I'm actually in the Amirpet classroom, and let's say there are 10 people that are over here. And let's say all 10 people are connecting to the same wireless area network. All of them would actually share this particular IP that is being shown to the outside the world. Got it? If you have 10 devices at your home, if you have 10 devices at your home, what would happen? All the 10 devices, if you are getting connected through the Wi-Fi, what would happen? To the external world, you would actually have all the 10 devices would have only one IP address. But internally, your router would actually configure that into different IP addresses. Is that clear, guys? Yes, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is the IP address. Okay. Any questions about this, guys? Right? Yes, guys. Okay. So this is the IP address. The address that is used in order to uniquely identify the device. Uniquely identify the device. And if I want to send something to this particular device, or if I want to receive something from the device, then this is the address that I will use. For example, if you want to send something to me, okay? So can you just say, Sham, take this, and would I be able to get it? Not possible. You have to either physically reach me, or you would actually have to send me through the post or courier. When you are actually trying to send it to me through the post or courier, what would happen? You would actually have to write my address, isn't it? How do you write my address? You would have to uniquely identify that. Okay, Sham, care of MGM IT Training, Vasvi MPM Grand Mall, 5th floor. Like this, you would actually have to write the unique address for me, isn't it? So similar to that, you are actually trying to identify that particular unique address in the network, and that is called as IP address. Got it, guys? Is that clear? Yes, guys.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And guys, now once I have this particular computer, once I have the system that is connected to the network, now there can be several softwares in this particular computer which are actually trying to connect to the network, isn't it? There can be several softwares that are getting connected to the network, right or wrong? Yes, guys. Okay, so if all these several different softwares, they want to maintain their own kind of window to the internet, they want to maintain their own window to the internet, then what would we do is we would actually try to create something called as ports. We would actually try to create something called as port. Okay, so we will actually try to talk in the ports. Okay, so for example, whenever you are actually having this particular IP, any machine that you are actually trying to use, okay, you would actually be able to see that that is mostly in the HTTP or HTTPS, isn't it? Mostly that is in the HTTP or HTTPS. The HTTP would actually be there in the 8080 port, and HTTPS would actually be there in the 443 port. Okay, let's actually call them as different doors or different windows. There are several doors to a house, right? Okay, so for example, if you are actually going to a commercial complex, there are several shops in the commercial complex, isn't it? So if you are actually trying to go to one shop, there would be one particular door that you would actually try to access. If you are going to another shop, you will actually try to go to another door, isn't it? In the same commercial complex, the address might actually be the same, but your door number would actually be different. Okay, your apartment number might actually be different. Got it? Yes, guys. A lot of people might actually reside in the same apartment, but you would have different flat numbers. Okay, so similar to that, you would actually have the port number. Is that clear, guys? Yes, guys.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So that is about this particular host name and the IP address. Okay. And what is static IP and what is dynamic IP?
A static IP, what we can see IPv for that, and dynamic IP when we connect to the internet, right? And what IP we get, that is a dynamic IP.
Yes. Most of the times our machines are configured as dynamic IP. Okay. Most of the times our machines are configured as dynamic IPs. All right. So for example, whatever the IP address that I'm actually seeing it over here. Okay. Whatever the IP address that I'm seeing it over here. So let's actually try to save it. We'll see this tomorrow as well. What is this called as, by the way? This is called as private IP. Okay. This is actually called as private IP because I'm inside a network. Okay. And what is the public IP? What is the public IP? Yes, guys. This is my public IP. Okay. So this is my public IP. All right. Let's actually, when we connect tomorrow, let's actually try to check whether these particular IPs are the same or not. Okay. Clear about it, guys? Let's actually try that. All right. Okay. Now, the static IP means whenever you connect to the network, your machine would get the exact same IP. Okay. Whenever you connect to the network, your machine actually would get the exact same IP. But dynamic IP means what would happen? Your machine, according to the ISP. What is the ISP?
Internet service provider.
Internet service provider, right? So whatever the IPs that are available to the ISP at that particular point of time, they would assign that particular IP. There is absolutely nothing static about it. Okay, is that clear, guys? Where would we use this, by the way? Why do we need a static IP and why would we need a dynamic IP?
Because when we connect to the network, right, we need to have a ID, which is not the actual ID because that is visible to everyone.
Not exactly. See, whenever we are trying to connect to the network, we need some IP address in order for us to communicate with the external network. Okay, but then guys, if you need to be communicated at the same address every time, in that case, you need to have a static IP. For example, if you are actually using an application like google.com, okay, ICICIbank.com, or any IP that you are actually trying to connect, what would happen? You need a static IP address because it should not change too much. All right. But if I'm connecting to the network, whatever is the IP, who cares? Isn't it? Now I'm communicating from this particular IP. After some time, I can actually restart my machine and I can actually get connected from a different IP. And I would get the response. Isn't it? There is absolutely no problem. Right or wrong? Yes, guys. What the ISPs would do is, if you need a static IP, they would actually charge you more. They would actually charge you more. But if you are okay with dynamic IPs, whatever the IP that is available for the ISP at that particular moment of time, they would actually give that particular IP. No static address for you. In that case, they would actually charge you a little bit less. Got it? Yes, guys. Okay. Even you can actually try this. You can actually, check your IP config and you can actually check what is my IP address.com. And what you can do, you would actually be able to restart your machine, restart your Wi-Fi router, and then check it again. What would happen? Okay. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Try that, guys. Okay. So these are the different concepts that I wanted to actually discuss today. I wanted to go a little bit more, but then, it was the time we actually started a little bit late. So we'll actually continue about this particular LAN, WAN, and all the other things tomorrow. Okay. Clear about it, guys? Now, before we wind up, guys, I need a little bit of feedback from you. This is a typical batch wherein I'm actually finding a lot of people from the computer science background. So I would actually need a little bit feedback from you. Am I going too slow? Am I going too fast? And please be open, guys. Okay. And if you don't want to tell, here, and you are feeling that you are not very free to tell here, then you can actually ping me on WhatsApp. Right? You can actually ping me on WhatsApp.
As per my understanding, your pace is good. Like it's not too slow. It is not too fast.
Oh, very good. Anybody else want to give their feedback?
Yes, sir. It is very clear, sir, and it is understandable to not even for who comes in from computer science background.
Oh, very good. Okay. I know some of the people, are might actually start feeling bored, but guys, please bear with me. I'm actually trying to bring everybody into the same pace, and at a point of time, I would actually start running very, very fast. Okay. But I want to bring everybody to the same pace to start with. Okay. Once you are comfortable with my language, once you are comfortable with the pace that I'm going, then we'll slowly pick it up. Okay. Clear about it, guys? So please
Yes.
bear with me for a couple of days in order to ensure everybody is comfortable enough. All right. And there would be people joining in. So we'll just go a little bit slow for the initial few days. All right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Everybody of you have actually, sent out the request to Pavan. You have given your name and all your details to Pavan.
Sorry, Sam. Can you come again?
Did all of you give all your details, your name, your your educational background and all this stuff to Pavan?
No, actually, no, we didn't. I didn't give to Pavan.
Can you, no, this is Pavan's WhatsApp number. Can you ping him if you already did not?
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah. Please ping him, and you would also be able to get the details and go through that. And guys, I believe my number is also here. Yeah, over here. Okay. So this is my number. All right. So if you are already part of the WhatsApp group, then you would actually be able to find my number in the admins. One of it is Pavan and one of it is me. Okay. So you would already be able to find me in the over there. But if you are not part of the WhatsApp group, then please ping me and I can actually add you to the WhatsApp group. Okay. Ping me or Pavan, your choice. No worries. Okay. Is this clear, guys?
Yeah, sure, it's clear.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Any other questions you have?
No, nothing for now, sir.
All right, guys. So that's it for today. Unless you have any questions, you can drop off and we'll actually meet you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you all. And I'm stopping the recording now, guys, so that if you want to ask any questions without recording, you can